Good morning. My name is Bill Bolson, and I'm the chair of the Plymouth Select Board, and I want to welcome you to Plymouth's observance of Veterans Day. First and foremost, I want to begin today by recognizing all of you out there who have been part of the great brotherhood and sisterhood that we call the U.S. military, our veterans, our active duty service members, guardsmen, and reservists. It is your service and sacrifice that has kept our country safe and free. No matter which branch you served in, whatever your job path, or how many years you served, raising your hand and committing yourself to service in the military was a brave and selfless act. One that resulted in few guarantees of where you would be assigned, whether and where you might deploy, and in some cases, if you would return home in one piece, or at all. Thanks to those who have served and those who continue to serve today, America can sleep peacefully at night. Military men and women know the risks, but they accept them in many cases so that others won't have to. Thank you for taking the time to remember our heroes. They never gave up on us, and we can't give up on them. While many brave men and women have returned home from war throughout our nation's history, there are still service members in harm's way around the world. I would ask that you please pause in silence for a moment to think of those currently standing watch around the globe. God bless you all, bless our veterans, and bless the United States of America. I want to welcome everyone here and also acknowledge the state representatives that also arrived for our celebration, to include Representative Sally Fellows, Representative Suzanne Smith, and Representative Joyce Weston. I want to thank you for attending. And now I want to bring up Reverend Linda Barnes, who's the Star King Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Minister, to give us our prayer.
Spirit of love, Spirit of life, God of many names, bless the fallen and those who mourn. Bless the memories that yet remain, lives precious with love and promise that are no more. Hold us tenderly in this endearing loss. Spirit of love, Spirit of life, God of many names, bless and hold safe our veterans whose lives were forever changed. Bless the families who received the wounded, damaged in flesh and soul. Bless them with healing and courage. Make mercy theirs. May they be well. Spirit of love, Spirit of life, God of many names, offer peace to soldiers, for they do not make wars. Offer comfort to families who wait and worry. Give us hearts big enough to care and tend those who gave so much. Let us say out loud that their sacrifice was not forgotten. Spirit of love, Spirit of life, God of many names, keep our armed forces safe. Keep our hearts strong and tender. Keep our memories clear and loving. We ask for forgiveness for our neglect. We pray for the courage to create lasting peace and pray, let there be peace. Let there be peace. May it be so. Amen.
Next, I'd like to read the lyrics of a song called Homeward Bound. It's not the Homeward Bound that was popularized by Simon & Garfunkel. And while this song is not your traditional Veterans Day song, the lyrics speak to our veterans returning home. Homeward Bound. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing and the sky is clear and red, when the summer's ceased its gleaming, when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. If you find it's me you're missing, if you're hoping I'll return to your thoughts, I'll soon be listening, and in the road I'll stop and turn. Then the wind will set me racing as my journey nears its end, and the path I will be tracing when I'm homeward bound again. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. Welcome home to all the veterans who have returned home from their service, and to all who are on their journey and will be returning home soon. We thank you all for your service to our country, and each one of you has our gratitude, our respect, and our best wishes for your safekeeping and a triumphant homecoming. You are all in our thoughts and our prayers. The next item on our agenda is Margaret Stevens, therapeutic harpist with Dartmouth Hitchcock Clinic, playing Homeward Bound. And next, I'd like to introduce David Moorhead, who is going to be providing us some comments.
Good morning. The first thing I'd like to do, since yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday, even though I wasn't a Marine, I'm going to say happy birthday to my brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps. I'd like to read to you some other birthdays that are very important in this country. The oldest service in this country is the National Guard. They were established and formed around December 13th, 1636. They weren't called the National Guard until early 1900s, but they were called the militia, the home defense, things like that. The next branch of service is the United States Army, June 14th, 1775. The next branch of service is the United States Navy, October 13th, 1775. Marine Corps, November 10th, 1775. The Coast Guard, August 4th, 1790. The Air Force, September 18th, 1947. Before that, it was called the Army Air Corps. And finally, we have a new military branch. It's called the Space Force. It was came into being December 20th, 2019. Those are our branches of the service and the way their birthdays fall. So if you see a soldier, a sailor, a Marine, remember an Air Force, an airman, a coastie, or the new Space Force, remember these dates and say happy birthday to them, because it does mean something to them. You hear the expression, once a Marine, always a Marine. Well, once a soldier, always a soldier. Once an airman, and always an airman. Once a sailor, always a sailor. It's in here. The other thing I'd like to mention and talk about is I've heard servicemen and women say, well, I didn't actually serve in combat, so I don't know if I'm really considered a veteran. If you put the uniform on, took the oath, went through basic or boot camp or whatever you want to call it for your branch of the service, and you've done the job that you were assigned to do, you're a veteran. For every combat soldier there is in the field, Marines, whatever, Army, whatever, it takes 10 to support him. If he gets wounded, him or her, I should say, because we now have women in the infantry in the Army, it takes 10 to take care of this person. So if these people that don't actually serve in combat are doing their job, the man or woman who does serve in combat or winds up in a combat situation can do their job right. Of course, we have other people that support them who work for the Department of Defense, like my sister, who wound up being a GS-15, which is equivalent to a one-star general. And so they're not called veterans, but they really are. And what does it mean to be a veteran? It just means that you're a person that has served your country with distinction in many ways. I can't even begin to understand maybe where we get men and women like myself. Of course, my whole family served. My mom, dad were Army Air Corps. My stepdad was one of the first infantry officers across the Rhine. My oldest brother was in the Navy, Vietnam. His son was Navy. I was Army, Vietnam. My son was 30 years a police officer locally. My brother below me was 23 and a half years Navy. His son was 25 years Navy. My brother below him couldn't go in, but his son is now 18 or 19 years in the Navy. And my youngest brother was pushing helicopters off the Kitty Hawk for the final evacuation of Vietnam. I could go on about my family. My grandson just graduated from Fort Jackson and Fort Lee for the National Guard. My other grandson is going to be going in. I'm proud of all of them. So I have many things locked up inside here that I'd like to say, but it does start to choke me up, and I think I'm just going to let it go at that. And I'd like to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for people that are watching. God bless America. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming here today to celebrate Veterans Day. Veterans Day is the time we come to honor those who have served, both men and women. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended in 1918. This they called the War to End All Wars. November 11th became a universally recognized day of celebration. But we know this was not the war to end all wars. We had World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The one thing they all had in common was those that answered the call, our veterans. I look at these wars as I was preparing this, and I noticed that a member of my family has served in each of these wars and have all returned home safe. A real blessing and a gift from God. I currently have a grandson, Jonathan Randlett, from San Diego, California, and a nephew, my nephew's son, Trevor Randlett from Holderness, that are now serving in the United States Marines. And Ricky Randlett from Holderness, serving in the National Guard. They come from every state and town in the United States to serve in the armed services. Veterans sacrifice a lot to be in the military. They pack up their belongings, say goodbye to their loved ones, and go overseas to serve and protect our nation. They miss holidays, birthdays, time with their family. Let us also thank their family for their sacrifices when their loved one is overseas serving, not knowing where he is at, what he is doing, and if he will come home. They are a team of tall and short, different races, men and women. They all serve together to make our country a better and a safer place. We call them veterans. Just this last week, a 19-year-old First Class Bruce W. Carter, who died in Vietnam over 50 years ago, was moved from his Florida burial to Arlington, the hallowed ground every person in America knows about. This young man threw himself on a grenade to save his friends. He eventually received the Medal of Honor. He never got to see his family again. But last week, his 90-year-old mother had him moved from the Florida site of his burial to Arlington. And she made this statement: he is with his buddies. He fought with them and he died with them. And then, till we meet again. Veterans are patriots ready to die to protect our way of life. Freedom is not free. Many have served so we can enjoy our way of life. Every Memorial Day and Veterans Day, I go to Riverside Cemetery to talk, I'm not crazy, but to talk to my fellow veterans and thank them for their sacrifice. And to salute the veterans, some who died in the wars, and those, like me, who got to come home and live and die at home with our family. Today, thank you, the vet, that he may be the next hero to die. I was going through the cemetery this morning and I noticed the grave of Captain Drury Cummings, 1802 to 1880. I thanked him for his service. Then we can have recent individuals, Mark Dakota from Campton, and Doug DeCenzo, who has a bridge dedicated to him. When you, as Doug said here today, when you see a veteran, you thank him. Whatever his job, he is there. At any point, he can be called into combat. Combat can be brought to him wherever he is. Thank him, and God bless veterans. Thank you.
And this concludes the ceremony. Just want to let you know that we'll be airing the ceremony in full on channel 1301, Pemmy Baker TV. It'll also be on our Facebook page, the Select Board Facebook page, and on the town website, so please be sure to tune in. We're also going to be ringing our bell in our bell tower. We may be just slightly late, but the American Legion Post nationwide are asking for bells to be tolled 21 times at 11 a.m. on November 11th in memory of World War I ending on November 11th at 11. with the signing of the armistice and to honor World War I service members. So thank you all for attending, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
When I lay my head down every night and go to sleep in peace, I can stay there knowing all is well while you're standing on your feet. Keeping watch, protecting shore to shore, in the air and oceans too. Defending freedom at all costs for the red, white, and the blue. Thank you, oh thank you, men and women brave and strong. To those who served so gallantly, we sing this grateful song. To the soldiers who have traveled on to countries far and near, in peace and war you paid the price for the cause you hold so dear, that we may wake each morning bright and know that freedom rings because of your great sacrifice. Your country joins to sing. Thank you, oh thank you, men and women brave and strong. To those who serve so gallantly, we sing this grateful song.